Michael is parenting personified. He's so passionate about parenting, he should be named Mr. Parenting.
Universal Parenting Clinic. Subscribe now. Press the button below. Subscribe now.
Welcome to this week's edition of Universal Parenting Clinic. On this show today, I'll be discussing the importance of availability of parents in parenting. It is very important and necessary for every parent to make himself or herself available once involved in parenting. Yes, tell yourself, and if your spouse is beside you, tell your spouse too. Make yourself available. The truth is that it is not the best to venture into parenting if you are not prepared to make yourself available. You cannot be an absentee parent. Children need the presence of both parents to blossom and flourish in life. As you will notice in some other topics that have been discussed on this program, and those that will be dealt with on this program. Several of the critical and crucial things and actions to be discharged in your parenting responsibilities and duties demands your physical presence. Children may survive successfully with occasional absence of one of the couples temporarily and at intervals, provided the resident spouse is responsible, able, and really available to discharge the joint responsibilities to certain manageable standards. Unfortunately, in the course of my preliminary research on this project, I discovered that the several effects of the non-availability of both or one of the parents for longer than desirable period from many children left serious vacuum in parenting, which resulted in devastating negative effects on the children. Some children are left with severe life-changing negative implications, which left lifetime marks of failure and damaging habits in such children. Different rules apply to the physical presence of parents or adults while in custody of a child, which are necessitated by reasonableness and sensible performance of parenting responsibilities over each child, including caring for the child's welfare and safety. For instance, in the UK, children under the age of 12 are not deemed matured enough to be left alone for a long period. The parent may be prosecuted for leaving such child unattended to, especially if a child is found left alone in a manner likely to cause unnecessary sufferings or injuries to that child. Children under 16 years may be left alone for a while, but not to be left alone overnight to avoid the complex challenges of being home alone, which are numerous and obvious. Babies, toddlers, and very young children cannot be left alone at any time. However, it's your judgment call and what is reasonable in some other countries. Besides the legal requirements in other places, the reasonable maturity of children as opposed to their age is used in determining the reasonableness of non-availability of adults and for how long. Knowledge of ability to handle basic emergency situations, make phone calls for ambulance or police or to the parents whenever necessary, and the ability to take care of personal well-being without supervision are taken into consideration as well. Parents' need to maintain physical presence, however, cannot be overemphasized due to compelling reasons why it is necessary for parents to ensure physical presence and availability to care for every child, not only at home, but also at all places, to protect the interest and well-being of every child. Availability is key to good parenting. Some people have the time, yet they avoid being available at crucial moments of their parenting needs and responsibilities. You must be available at most occasions involving your child. Visit your child's school. Make conscious efforts to be available at home when reasonable to give necessary guidance and support to your growing child. Several aspects of parenting involve direct one-to-one physical handlings for effective results, especially from infancy. When you teach your child on the way he or she should go meticulously from infancy, when he or she grows, that child will be able to operate effectively with or without such physical support. Parenting is not a part-time vocation. It is a full-time responsibility. It may be acceptable for you to have brief excuses for occasional temporary absence due to the nature of work, emergencies, health grants, and very important unavoidable responsibilities, provided your spouse or partner is available to oversee necessary parental roles and the needs of the child or children. However, no matter the seriousness of your commitments, under no circumstances should you abandon your child with no able and capable adult to care effectually for such child at the moments of the absence of both parents. The same also goes for social events involving the family. Plan very well to enable you create time out of your tight schedules to make yourself available so your child can experience the required parental role and affections expected from you, and also to enjoy the feelings of being valued and loved. Even some people will never leave their pet unattended at any time and without the presence of an adult to monitor and provide adequate care. So, how can you justify your habitual non-presence and non-availability at several necessary moments to perform your parenting responsibilities to your child? Every responsible parent is expected to be concerned about the safety, social well-being, and moral support for each child in life. And if you are not capable of giving this mandatory and necessary part of parenting requirements, you need to reevaluate your desire to be a parent. And if you are one parent already, you definitely need to call yourself to immediate self-examination and amend your ways. Many parents find flimsy excuses to avoid being present when needed, thereby creating a sense of loneliness and lack of parental care. Some parents have their diaries full of work, partying, and all sorts of social events, but are left with little or no time to perform their domestic duties and responsibilities. Such people find it convenient to delegate their parenting roles and duties to house help or their domestic staffs, friends, relations, and the likes. Let us get it right. It is not that all these listed child care supports are not necessary, as you will see under the topic on partnership in parenting, which I will still discuss. And also, it is not that socializing or attending party or other necessary engagements are bad. Certainly not, if you like them. But you must realize that now you are a parent and certain things must be cut down to be readily available for parenting. You must learn the ability to multitask and to prioritize your responsibilities and activities in a way that you can juggle between your several engagements and your parenting demands, such that the child does not suffer due to your constant non-availability and neglect. Also, know that it is also not bad to have the entire multiple tasks and responsibilities listed above and many more. It is just that you must put your parenting responsibilities in serious considerations before undertaking several other responsibilities. This will happen to nearly all parents, so you are not alone. For instance, my parents had to sacrifice a lot to ensure my siblings and I never lacked their presence at any time of our growth. Whatever could have constituted an impediment was dead sweet, and where any other thing couldn't be accommodated alongside their parenting responsibilities towards us, we became the priority, and those other things gave way.
Parenting without tears. Get your copy.
As I stated comprehensively on the topic of sacrifice in parenting, Sweetheart and I had to come to terms with the reality of special needs and sacrifices in our individual lives to accommodate the necessity of at least one of us being at home at any point in time, always. We always try our best to alternate our professional and personal engagements to ensure at least one of us is present to attend several functions affecting the kids, which includes but not limited to the need for domestic care and support at home, drop up and pick up from school, shopping for personal needs, homeworks, showing practical responses to issues, answering questions from the children, and making provisions for daily needs. No one said this is easy in modern day complex existence, but we did everything necessary to ensure compliance. You can do that too. Most times too, we are both present. It wasn't easy because we both work, and most times we're both involved in multiple jobs too, because our main job with an additional part-time job in between, we had to also undertake further learning or studies, including volunteering for voluntary charitable non-paying vocations too, most times. Yet, we structured our careers and all activities around our parenting responsibilities and children's specific needs. For someone like me that worked 24/7 most years, I can tell you it wasn't easy. But it became fun and enjoyable because the end justifies the sacrifices. At the time, we realized one of us needed to adjust to working from home. We discussed between ourselves and decided amicably on who was better positioned at such specific time to play the babysitting duties. There were times either of us attended in the early hours while the other handled the pickups.
Universal Parenting Clinic. Subscribe now. Press the button below. Subscribe now.
There were times we both did these things together too. The good things, however, is that with time, we started regaining some more flexibilities for ourselves. For instance, once the last baby left nursery school, it meant all the kids could be in school at the same time instead of babysitting all day with one of the kids. Then, there was a time when the kids could attend to their personal needs and some personal care and safety measures too. When the kids went to the universities, things became better. Such is life with parenting. Different stage determines required responsibilities. Note that in parenting, if anything must be sacrificed, if anything must be abandoned, and if anything has to give way, it shouldn't be your parenting responsibilities to your child because it must be top on your list of priorities at all times. There may be occasions for emergencies when certain parenting responsibilities cannot be undertaken reasonably and when alternative supports may become expedient, which is part of the inevitable experiences of parenting, but it shouldn't be a habit or a regular exercise that is undertaken always and willingly. Your availability is necessary to give you the opportunity to monitor, advise, and control necessary practical circumstances that will help to build the confidence and social interactions with your child. For instance, certain safety measures and reasoning cannot be handled by kids, and it may be difficult for kids to deal with certain emergencies like health care. Your kid may not know what to do if electricity supply suddenly goes up and the whole house is in total darkness, or what to do in the event of fire incidents. What is a child to do in the case of accidental injuries or leaking gas supply to the building, an intruder, or in the event of alarm and fear? What happens to moments of emergency decisions that must be made at the spur of the moment, or circumstances requiring immediate action by an adult? The same goes for socio-economic and physical actions of which children are not experienced or matured to attend to. In addition, as stated on the point of joint responsibilities and areas where parents need to collaborate to make parenting a success. The non-performance of such responsibilities will eventually leave a vacuum that may be hard to fill, which may be the opening for future tears and failure for either the child or the parents or both, except for the divorce or death of a spouse. If, however, certain specific circumstances will make it inevitable for either one or both parents to be unavoidably absent momentarily, such parent is expected to ensure adequate provision for reasonable care and support for the child. This provision will also be discussed while dealing with another topic on this show. You must do everything within your means to be available to parent your child. It is not a task that could be done by proxy or in the position of an absentee parent. No, sir. No, ma'am. Absenteeism is never an option in parenting because it won't work. It will end in parenting failure and tears. Remember again, be prepared to ensure you are available to discharge your parenting responsibilities to your child so that your parenting life can be without stress and tears. That's the show this week on Universal Parenting Clinic. I believe strongly that through this Universal Parenting Clinic and with proper understanding of the book Parenting Without Tears, together we all can promote wellness in families and in the world. We can stop the tears from children, parents, and families. We can kick racism, fraud, incivility, corruption, wickedness, several addictions, violence, and the series of antisocial behaviors out of all families and the whole world. And at the same time, we can promote all the positive desires and aspirations towards the well-being of the children, parents, and the world at large. Till I come your way again next week, I am the parenting advocate in the house, Michael Benga Bibilari, MGB, Mr. Parenting. Think parenting. Don't be an absentee parent. Be available for parenting. Talk parenting. Be passionate about parenting. Don't just be a parent. Stop positioning. Be a real parent. A responsible parent. A parent indeed. Parent well.